Okay, so the other day I got this idea to make a list of all of the super popular book series that I've seen on BookTube and Bookstagram and try to read the first one in each series and see if I like it. Now, I'm not going to include everything because there are some that I've read. I've read, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, A Court of Thorns and Roses, Strange the Dreamer, stuff like that. But there are dozens and dozens that I haven't read, so I'm gonna go for it, give it a shot. I'm making my list now, and I'm going to randomly pick one each week or each month to order, read, and record my experience, and then I'll decide if I want to keep going with it. So I put all the names of the series on this random name picking website, and altogether there are 56. And that's just what I could think of off the top of my head. So if I think of more, I'll add them to the list. But yeah, we're about to find out what book I'm going to be reading. I'm kind of nervous because there are some on here that I'm pretty sure I'm not going to like, but there are also some that I'm pretty sure I will like. So eventually I'm going to read them all. So I guess it doesn't really matter what I start with, but yeah, let's go for it. Wow, okay. That's kind of unexpected. But I mean, I guess they all had an equal chance of getting picked. I actually know nothing about this series, so hey, I'm going in completely blind. Hopefully, I like it. Right now, I'm gonna get online and see if this book is available at my library, and if not, I'm gonna find somewhere to order it really cheap just so I can get it fast and start reading it. I don't know what to say because, like I said, I know nothing about this series, but I'm excited to try something new. Hopefully, throughout this process, I'll find some new favorites. Maybe this is one of them. So, here we go. The last time you saw me, it was July 26th. It is now August 3rd, and I have a package, so let's open it and see what it is. I might edit this if I have trouble opening it. So. There it is. Oh my gosh. Paper in there. It is way thicker than I expected. Oh my gosh. This might take me a little bit to get through, but I'm really, really excited. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to try this. Again, I still don't know anything about it, but I'm just really excited to do this whole series because I'm hoping I'll find more favorites. I love reading series, but I'm really picky. Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, The Raven Cycle, they set such a high standard that it's hard for me to find stuff that I love. So, fingers crossed that this will be a new favorite. Okay, so I'm here for my first Diviners reading update. I'm about 100 pages in. It didn't really take me long to get there, but it did take me a while to start reading because when I saw how thick it was, I was like, wow, that's a really big commitment. Anyway, I'm about 100 pages in, and honestly, not a lot has happened, which kind of makes sense because I guess they don't want to reveal too much too soon, considering it's such a big book and they need, to fill up the space. So, Evie. She's okay. I don't have any particular feelings about her one way or another. I don't dislike her, but I also don't love her. I don't feel much of anything, which is fine. I'm sure I will as the book goes on, but right now it's just like, I don't know much about her yet. I mean, I know what she wants, but I haven't read about her enough to care yet. Same goes for Memphis. I do like him a little bit more. His story was a little bit more interesting to me, like his healing ability, and I'm curious to find out why that went away and what happened. So far, the most interesting chapter has been Ruda's chapter. I don't know if she's going to come back. Kind of seemed like it ended badly for her, but that was really good, and it did creep me out a little bit. Just a little bit, just a tad. So this is probably going to have some horror-y elements to it, which is fine. I'm good with that. Not loving the 1920 setting, actually. I'm just not used to it, especially in fantasy or horror or whatever this is. I'm not used to it being set in different time periods, so that's just something I'm gonna have to get used to. I don't dislike it, but I'm not loving it, So yeah, I'm excited to read more, and I'm excited to give another update. I don't have much to say yet because, like I said, I don't really care about the characters yet. But once I have some more opinions, I will give you an update. Okay, so I'm about a third of the way through, and I finally have some opinions on things. I wasn't too keen on Evie's chapters in the beginning, but now I actually look forward to them the most. Memphis's chapters kind of started to bore me because I feel like nothing happens in them. He spends all his time worrying about his brother and writing poetry, and that's about it. He doesn't really do anything, which is fine for now, but I'm really hoping they pick up soon. Evie does a lot. She goes out, she does things, she talks to people. Even if she does make a lot of stupid decisions, I'm just glad that she's doing stuff. Don't really care about Theta, don't care about Mabel. Jericho, he's still kind of an enigma. There have been some hints that there's something going on there, like in his past or whatever, but still not very sure of it. Sam Lloyd. I hate, first of all, the hate to love trope, I hate, because usually it just sticks with hate for me. I can't stand the whole, I'm gonna go after this girl because she's a challenge thing. I think that's extremely predatory and disrespectful, but despite that, his backstory seems really interesting to me, and I really feel bad for him. Like when he's in the bathroom rehearsing what he's gonna say to whoever, I guess he thinks broke up his family, that really made me feel bad for him. So he's kind of growing on me, but we'll see. Another kid was murdered by this Naughty John, which is such a weird name, but whatever. I hate to say it, but the chapters with murder have been the best ones so far. But I think this chapter that I'm currently on is gonna be really good because they're in like a KKK commune snooping around, so I feel like something big's gonna happen here. At least I hope so. I noticed this trend with this book is that there will be an event, aka the murder, and then it'll be like a lull in activity pretty much, where we might jump to a character's point of view that we have never been in before, like Theta or Henry. Henry, there's definitely something going on with him. Let me just put that out there. But I wish there was just more activity spread out rather than two big things with just a little bit of stuff in between. I wish it was like more evenly distributed. Obviously, I think there's gonna be some more murder because I assume this is gonna be like a serial killer type of situation with some paranormal stuff going on, but we'll have to see. I wouldn't say I'm not enjoying it, but I'm definitely not in love with it yet. Depending on how this all plays out, I could definitely start loving it. It has all the makings of something that I could love. I'll have to see how they handle romance. Romance is a big thing for me, as I'm sure you'll find out in some of my later videos. A badly done romance absolutely kills an entire book for me. I don't care about all the good things that happened before, all the things that I loved before. A badly done romance will destroy an entire book. So that's all for now. I'll be back when I read another 100 pages. So yeah, hopefully it gets a little more exciting. But like I said, I'm not hating it. We'll have to see. I know emo isn't a thing yet in the 20s, but Memphis is so emo. There have been several chapters of him writing poetry in a graveyard, then going up to an old scary house, contemplating going inside, and then running away in fear. I need more from this guy. He lives in Harlem. There could be such beautiful descriptions of the music and the art and the writing, but we get graveyard poetry and him running from a house. Why? Okay, I feel like the meat of this story is like right there. We're about to get to it because Theta and Memphis just met, and that's the first time that Memphis has interacted with any of the other characters in Evie's group. But I'm very excited because, you know, stuff's really happening. Evie told her uncle about her abilities to like read objects because she was about to get sent home to Ohio, and they got arrested at a speakeasy, so a lot just happened. I'm very excited. I'm a little more than halfway through. I'm actually really starting to like it. I know I was kind of iffy earlier, but I don't know, I feel like it's all coming together. It's all turning into something that's really captivating me. I really love the cult stuff. I love that a bunch of different characters are connected and they know each other, but they don't know that they're connected yet. And I'm excited to see how that turns out. Yeah, I'll have another update, hopefully very soon. I plan on reading 100 more pages today, so fingers crossed. So there have been books that I've read where I'm like, wow, all this terrible stuff just happened. If only there was like a psychic that could have told this character to not do this certain thing, everything would have been okay. Well, this character in this freaking book literally did have a psychic telling him not to go to a certain place. And what did he do? He laughed it off and he went there. And now he's dead. Was he a main character? No, but I'm still upset about it. This book is really stressing me out. It really kind of grew on me. I'm really invested now. But wow. Now, if only there was a psychic to tell him that the first psychic was telling the truth, then everything would be okay. This is what I was worried about with this book, but I honestly didn't expect it to come from this part or this aspect of the story, the romance. I was expecting that Evie would, get with one of the guys and I would hate him, and then I'd have to quit the book because I hate it so much, but it's Memphis and Theta. Their romance is ridiculous. Insta-love, that's the only way I can describe it, is insta-love. There's no reason that they're so close already. Like, at Gabe's funeral, she's like running up all concerned and saying soothing words to him. It's like, he barely knows you. Gabe didn't even like you. Why is this happening? It seems really rushed, and I don't support it, and I don't like it. I like them both as characters, but together the romance is just forced. It happened way too fast. There was no development. He only likes her because he thinks she's mysterious or whatever. I don't even know why she likes him. I don't get it. Oh, wait, because they had the same dream. So they're obviously meant to be together. No, it's stupid. And it's really angering me. And as of right now, Evie's my favorite character. I just stopped at a really intense part. Theta is hearing the whistling, meaning that she's probably gonna die. But, hopefully someone saves her at the last minute. I don't know how. The whistling means that Naughty John is, gonna kill her. And the rest of the group figured out that the next sacrifice that he has to make is going to be someone at the theater, and she works at the Reading Theater. I'm so scared. I finally started to care about her, and now she's gonna die. I am terrified right now. Help. Okay. Theta was not sacrificed. That's good. But I still don't know where she is, and I still don't know if she's okay. But I'm not stressed out at the moment, because, some random nameless character was sacrificed, not a main character, so of course it doesn't matter. Okay, it's finally time for the thrilling conclusion to the Diviner saga. Except not really, because I only read the first book, and I'm pretty sure there are several. Anyway, I took some notes in my Slytherin notebook. For anyone who cares, I am a Slytherin. And I took notes in the hopes of kind of explaining how I feel about certain aspects in the book in a more organized way than I did throughout this process, because when I was filming, I would just talk about my feelings right at that moment without rhyme or reason. So I took some notes, and I'm just going to be talking about my likes and dislikes and whether I'm going to continue with the series or not. So, what did I like about this book? I really loved, first and foremost, what I loved the most was the cult aspect to it. I was not expecting that. I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts. I watch a lot of true crime documentaries. I'm really fascinated with cults and the psychology behind that. And though this book didn't get into psychology a lot, it was really fascinating, learning of the history of the cult explained throughout the book. It was a lot more mysterious than I expected, which is also something I really love. I tend to really enjoy thrillers, so there were parts of this that felt like that, so it felt comfortable reading it. It felt like something I was used to. And when I went into it, I wasn't expecting that, because at first it kind of seemed more like a horror than anything else, and that's really not my style. So to generalize, I'd actually put this book in the category of a paranormal thriller. I really enjoyed how the book had several points of view. I've learned throughout this year that I love books that change points of view. I think it gives a really rounded view of the story, and I like hearing about the same scene just told from different characters. We also got points of view that I didn't expect, like Henry and Theta, because when they're introduced, they don't come off as very important, but obviously they're extremely important to the plot, which I know now. But reading from their point of view was a lot of fun. It took a while for Theta's to kind of grow on me, and Henry we didn't get a lot of, but just a few segments. But eventually I did really enjoy reading from their perspectives, especially the chapter where we learn about Theta's past and how she ended up in New York. That was such a good chapter, even though it happened so late in the book. I probably would have enjoyed her more had it happened earlier in the book, because that's what made me care about her. It took to nearly the end of the book for me to start caring, because I didn't know enough about her. Evie, Will, and Sam were my favorite characters, by far. I thought they were all extremely complex. Evie, I didn't like her at first. I didn't like her at all, but not in a not really in a bad way. Like, I liked her as a character, but I didn't like her, if you get what I'm saying. The chapter where she got into the fight with Mabel, that made me really love her because I really related to this idea of her feeling like she's too much, but also not enough. It made her seem like a real person. Will and Sam, their backstories are extremely fascinating to me. I really want to know more about them, especially now that I know that they're connected. I'm really curious to learn about Sam's family, to learn about Will's past relationship. That's going to be so good. I am extremely excited to learn more about that. Even Jericho, I didn't care that much about his past, but I liked him as a character anyway. I actually think I would put him in my favorites category, which I didn't expect at first, because from what I heard, he was considered kind of a jerk. There was a chapter where he was kind of rude, but I feel like that didn't continue throughout the whole story. Like, Evie's rude too, and I really liked her, so I wasn't going to hold it against him. Also, I was so worried about romance in this book. I judge romance very, very harshly, and I was terrified that Evie was going to get with one of the guys and they were going to be super annoying and I would absolutely hate it. But it was very slow burn, and even at the end of the story, her feelings for Jericho were very reluctant, and I felt like that was extremely realistic. So I'm supporting this budding romance between the two characters. As of right now, it's very tentative, but I am okay with it for now. Pretty much my whole point in this is that Evie's character did not go the way I expected her to go, and I ended up really loving her and supporting her choice to kiss Jericho even though her friend Mabel has a crush on him. Because there are bigger things going on here than crushes, obviously. And after everything that they went through, she just felt close to Jericho. It felt like he understood her. And I felt that way too. So I support their romance. We'll have to see where it goes, because it could easily go in a direction that I'm hoping it doesn't. There's another series that I read that disappointed me in that way, and that'll be really heartbreaking if this one does it. Okay, now on to my dislikes. I felt like it took way, way too long for the story to unfold. I was over halfway through and I still had no idea what was going on. That we were getting all these points of view with absolutely no explanation, just more and more mystery piling up. And even by the end, not all the questions were answered, which I expected. There are several books. Not all the questions are going to be answered by the end of the first one. But even the main plot in this one, there were things that weren't explained until very last minute. Things that I didn't understand, and I felt like more information was needed earlier on to make me care about the characters. Like I was saying with Theta's chapter, I didn't care about her until the very end. In addition to that, there were a ton of filler scenes at the beginning, especially of Evie hanging out with her friends, and I didn't care about it. Like, there would be something interesting that happened, then a lot of boring filler chapters, and then something interesting again. And I felt like that could have been cut down a lot, and we could have just gotten to the plot way faster. Okay, now let's get into Memphis. He was my favorite character at first, back when I still didn't like Evie. He had so much potential, but his chapters were so boring. I honestly felt like they should have been in his brother's point of view. That was way more interesting to me than his. Yeah, his dreams were interesting, but half the time all he did was write poetry and talk about writing poetry. It's like, I just didn't care. They were so boring to me. And then that romance with Theta was absolutely ridiculous. I didn't get it. It seemed like it came out of nowhere. Honestly, it kind of made her seem like a manic pixie dream girl. Like, he liked her because she was mysterious and not like other girls. And, like, he had a feeling that his charming smile wouldn't work on her. I just thought it was corny, and I don't like it. Maybe in the later books it's a little better, but I can't support it. Other than that, I really enjoyed the book, and I am going to be continuing with the series. Altogether, this book is a 4-star read for me, so that's pretty good. And this first segment turned out really well. I was terrified that the first book I would be doing for this series was going to be a flop, but it was really good. I enjoyed a lot of things about it. The pros outweighed the cons by a lot. I'm invested in the characters now, most of them, so I will be continuing with the series. If you're interested in my opinions on other books, I will leave my Instagram link and my Goodreads link in the description. Feel free to subscribe. I don't know when there's going to be another video up, because I still have to pick it, order it, and read it. And I have other books to read in the meantime, so it could be a month, could be 2 months, but I'll try to be pretty fast about it. Thank you for watching.